What? What is your name?
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for November 21st. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there. To Ezekiel. Say hi to Ashley Burns, everybody.
You know, sometimes that pause is just a little bit too long, and I wonder if you've forgotten your name.
My name?
Your name.
Well,
My
no.
name is Bernie Burns.
Dramatic effect, lady. Dramatic effect. I think of, did you ever get to a point where you thought of yourself by your nickname? Like your nickname was like a handle. It's a little different. Handles are different than nicknames.
Yeah, no, I've never hyped myself being like, Jinx, you got this.
Did anyone ever like come up to you, like anybody in person, in your personal life besides someone who knew you from your online persona? Did like anybody call you Jinx on a personal level?
I had some friends who were friends outside of gaming who still referred to me as Jinx, and I was like, nerd.
And
What are you doing, nerd? That's my secret name.
Your secret name.
Don't call me by my secret name.
I'm not on duty. By the way, I started playing Dispatch last night while we're talking about alter egos. I played, I think, through the first 20 minutes of the game, and I'm going to use the word play in quotes. It's a animated show, and it's a good one. I really like the characters and everything like that. I'm never in a million years going to disparage anybody who is doing narrative scripted characters. You know what I mean? I like the fact that people are trying to make fictional characters. I love that kind of stuff. I love that people are engaging with it. But it's almost like someone wanted to make a cartoon and they told them they had to make a game. I turned on at the very beginning of it just to see what would happen. I turned on, there's an option to make it cinematic or interactive, which takes you out of the QuickTime events. So I don't even see the QuickTime events. I do see a pause where a QuickTime event...
So you're the one who turned it into a cartoon.
I am, but then I went back and looked at it as well. Like, looked at it if it was more interactive. You also, it doesn't eliminate all the interaction when you do the cinematic mode. It'll have you make choices. And I very specifically in the first choice made what I thought was an extreme choice. I'm going to spoil the first 2 minutes of this game for you. There's a thing where a guy is dangling another guy over a balcony and you have a choice to pull him back or drop him. And it was like a moment where if you were a good guy, you'd pull him back. I go, nah, fuck it, I'm going to drop him.
I'm going to drop this guy.
So I dropped the guy off the balcony, and then he lands on a mattress, and he's okay. And it's
okay, so you feel like the consequence wasn't there.
Exactly. I wonder, like, what am I really contributing to this, right? Yeah.
Why wasn't I allowed to kill a guy in the first 2 minutes?
Right. It's not a choose your own adventure. It's choose my own adventure, right? It's like, we're going to throw shit at. That's the impression that I got initially, but it's great. It's like, let me ask you this. Bandersnatch on Netflix.
Yes,
there was
the Choose Your Own Adventure show.
Right. Is that a Netflix game?
I would say yes.
Right.
Right. Once you add an interactive element, obviously it was presented as a show. It was formatted as a show, but I would classify it as a game because of the choices that you make as a participant, right? Like once you're participating in the narrative, then it becomes a game to me.
There is an area between game and movie that is a section that both of those, I think, fall in, which is interactive.
It's a Jumanji. Oh.
When one falls on Netflix, you tend to like lump it in with all the movies. And when something is available on Steam, you lump it in with all the games, when really they're in their own kind of classification. That's where I think Dispatch lives.
By the way, speaking of Jumanji, by the way, did you notice that Jumanji is coming for us? We said it too many times, and now we're going to get Jumanji.
What happened?
Right after we talked about Jumanji on the podcast, they dropped like the first look at Jumanji 3.
Oh, what do they do in Jumanji 3? Do they go into like a social media platform now this time? The first one was a board game. The second one was a video game, right? Like an 8-bit Nintendo game.
Yeah, but it was also like that, a very different era, right? There was a lot of time between those. This is the same cast. It's The Rock, it's Jack Black, it's it's what?
Well, I was going to say,
Nebula.
I'm waiting. Yeah, Nebula, right? That's the lady who plays Nebula, who is completely unrecognizable in that role in Avengers.
Yeah. It's Karen Gillan, who by the way, she's not Nebula. She's from Doctor Who, before Nebula. But yeah, so most people will probably know her as Nebula from the Marvel movies. But so it's that cast again, right?
Yeah.
It's not, so it's not doing as much of a time jump as like from Jumanji to Jumanji 2. When you have a whole new cast and it's kind of a soft reboot, it makes sense to then update the way that you get Jumanji, right? I don't know that that's necessarily happening in this case.
Jack Black in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jack Black, The Rock, Kevin Hart, and
Karen Gillan.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Interesting. I'll be honest with you, I didn't mind the Jumanji sequel.
I liked it a lot,
2.
actually. I thought that the way that they did it as well was really funny, where all the characters got put into basically like the video game characters essentially that didn't match them or their personality. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was totally fun. It's interesting to see Jack Black coming back to that, though, after doing Minecraft. I guess it just doesn't matter at all.
Look, I think Jack Black do what Jack Black want to do.
I think you're exactly right.
You know, he's got that Kung Fu Panda money. He can do whatever he likes.
I can't believe his parents named him after a color. That was interesting. we had a bunch of people who didn't know that the name Eevee, by the way, is not a Pokemon name. That we got so many comments yesterday
asking if we named our child after a Pokemon. Yeah, no, we did not.
First of all, how little do you know me that I named my kid after a Pokemon? Give me a fucking break. No, her name is Evelyn, and Eevee for short. In fact, we had a really crazy thing that happened. Crossover is that we have little baby Eevee in the family, and then Peppa Pig, which is a very big deal here in the UK. It's like the kids show. Even though Bluey, I think, is like taking over the entire world, but you know, Peppa Pig is like classic.
It's one of those, like, Peppa Pig is not going to go away in the UK just because Bluey came along. Like, Peppa Pig is a mainstay, like the monarchy.
She has now, it's like one of these long running TV shows though, where it's like there's weird like time elongation where no one's getting older, and now after many years they have added a baby. Mommy had a baby. Mommy should be well past, I think, the point where she's having babies at this point.
The fact that Peppa Pig has a new baby sister named Evie, this was headline news in the UK.
Big name reveal.
You would have thought that this was like Jennifer Aniston's new kid. Like this was like actual this was breaking news, okay? They're interrupting the king and being like, I don't think you understand, Your Majesty. Peppa Pig has a little sister. That's how big the news was.
Yeah, and the baby's name was either Eevee or Magnetron. What are the Pokemon? Magnetite? What do they call that guy?
I think there's a Magneton.
Yeah, something like that. It just shows how little I know about Pokemon. No, to answer your questions and your very pointed comments, we did not name our child after a Pokemon. How dare you?
Yeah, we named Finn after a Pokemon.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston's going to do that.
Speaking of Jennifer Aniston, by the way.
Oh, I like talking about Jennifer Aniston.
Well,
what do we got?
This is tangential, okay? But do you remember that there was the very successful television show Friends? And then there was the slightly less successful spin-off of Friends, Joey, following Joey's Hollywood career, right?
Yeah.
There were 8 episodes of that show that never aired. Right, they just didn't put them out. So there's
whoa, really? What
a
weird trajectory from like the most popular show of all time, where people were making the most money of all time, to then a show where they didn't even show all the episodes.
Right. So they never aired these 8 episodes.
Yeah, that was like the Kramer spinoff. They showed one stand-up episode and then none after that.
Bernie, until now.
Oh, Joey has now, they've gone to the vault and pulled the...
They went to the vault, baby. So they've now put every episode of Joey, including the unaired 8 episodes, on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah, they're on like the Friends YouTube channel.
They didn't put it on
It didn't even get its own YouTube channel. It's on the Friends YouTube channel.
They put it on like Peacock or anything like that? They put it on the YouTube channel for Friends?
Yeah, let me double check that, but that's what I heard.
You got to think about this. Friends was off the air like 6 years before YouTube even started. Who knew there was a Friends YouTube channel?
Why wouldn't there be? These are YouTube channel for everything.
God, I can't believe we got these released in the same week as the Epstein files.
Do you think Hollywood is now, they're all in a panic because they're like, do you appear in the unaired Joey episodes?
Am I named in the credits for the Joey Lost episodes? Shit, I gotta pack my bags.
Yep, here we go. Here's a playlist, Joey full episodes, right there on the Friends YouTube channel.
Yeah. Well, they opened an open investigation into David Schwimmer, so he will be redacted from all the Joey episodes that he was supposed to be in. What would be worse, honestly, if you knew someone who appeared in the Epstein files or someone who appeared in the lost
unaired
episodes of Joey?
Right. Well, what if you though, like when your whole here's the thing, what if you started your career with the grand lie that I was in an episode of Joey. This is the first thing on my acting resume, right? It's just one of the ones that never aired. That's why you haven't seen me.
That's, by the way, that's a common thing. Quentin Tarantino, when he was an aspiring actor, we were just talking about 1978's George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. One of the things he claimed as an actor, because he thought there's no way anyone can prove this, that he was a zombie in Dawn of the Dead. And then, of course, other people who made films were like, "You're in Dawn of the Dead?" and stuff. Like, I could imagine that was a great talking point for a young actor.
Right. It would have been until now. Now everyone's got to go update their acting LinkedIns and take off their unaired episode of Joey credits.
Right.
Because now they'll be able to be proven like, you weren't in this.
What are the chances that people are going to proof that? They're going to go look at the episodes. Should we have a Joey-thon this weekend and watch all 8 episodes of the lost Joey episodes?
Baby, we can watch all 38 episodes if you want.
But honestly, do I need to watch the 3 that were released in order to understand the 8 that are coming out on YouTube?
Well, I mean, it depends on how important the canon is to you.
How many episodes or seasons of Joey were there?
2 maybe, or like 1.5.
But I gotta say, I'm making a lot of jokes here. Why not? I mean, like everybody, when they left Friends, they were making $1 million an episode per person when they were making between 22 and 24 episodes a season. And I want to say that they were doing that for like 3 years.
It's good money if you can get it.
Also, God knows how much money they made in syndication. There was a point in time when if you had a sitcom, like I always think of that era of like Seinfeld and Friends, that was peak, right? Like even the number of people who watched the Seinfeld finale, which was a huge deal, you're just not going to be able to do that again because the environment doesn't exist. So why not? It's like everyone was like, we want more Friends, just make more Friends. And they're like, no, we're done. And they all wanted to move on to other things. And like Matt LeBlanc was like, fuck, man, I'm having a great time with this character.
I'm still down, sure, let's
do it. Why not? I want to say too, that had a really interesting cast. See if my memory's working here. You can look it up. I believe the female lead in that was Drea De Matteo, who was in The Sopranos. She was like, Christopher. She was the girlfriend. I think that's who the female lead in the Joey sitcom was. Maybe I'm wrong.
Here we go. Full cast here. Matt LeBlanc, Andrea Anders, Paolo Costanzo, Jennifer Coolidge, Drea De Matteo there. There we go.
Maybe she wasn't the lead. Maybe she was like, if I was just casting her.
She was in every episode. She was in 46 episodes.
She might have been like Joey's sister. But Jennifer Coolidge was in?
I didn't even know. Yeah, I had no idea she was in that. So yeah this is, I think, so now we can watch what the 38 episodes plus the final lost episode.
They could just cast people with really interesting voices. They had Drea Matteo going, Christopher. Jennifer Coolidge going, hi.
Going, wow.
Fran Drescher. Got an amazing cameo.
Oh, you look nice.
We had the whole cast
and
was Matt LeBlanc,
hey.
Drea De Matteo, Jennifer Coolidge, Fran Drescher, and Gilbert Gottfried.
Is that then the most successful TV show of all time or the least?
Bobcat Goldthwait. It's just an endless list of performers who do funny voices for their characters. Do you know what Fran Drescher went on to go do after the nanny?
I do. And I don't know I know what she eventually did. I know she became the president for SAG-AFTRA.
She was the president of SAG-AFTRA.
Until recently. And that's now, they've got a new president. Is it Sean Astin?
It's Sean Astin.
Yeah. So, during the strike and everything, it was like Fran Drescher addresses everyone about the SAG-AFTRA strike. And I was like, it's not a career move I would have expected for the nanny, but good for her.
Sean Astin, who many people will know as Samwise Gamgee from the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Is that where he's from?
Yes, that's the one. That's the one. Not in The Hobbit, but in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Most people would know him as Samwise. He's also, I learned this, I don't want to use the term that's commonly used these days, but Hollywood royalty, like Hollywood legacy.
Is he?
From a Hollywood family. His dad, John Astin, who, if you had to guess, there's only 7 TV shows before 1970. What do you think Sean Astin's dad was? Very famous lead in a famous black and white sitcom I should double check this before I put this out to you because it's just from memory as well.
A black and white sitcom. Green Acres.
You're in the right era.
Am I?
Yeah, I think you're in the right era.
I Dream of Jeannie.
It's creepy and kooky.
Addams Family?
His dad is Gomez Addams.
No way.
Yeah, that's who his dad is. Yeah, Sean Astin's dad is Gomez Addams.
You know, I have to say, and I understand that that the 90s Addams Family did not strike as close to the original graphic novels in terms of like how they cast specifically Gomez, like Raul Julia was not like comic accurate, but I will never be able to picture anyone else as Gomez. In the Wednesday TV show that they've got going on, it's like it's a much more comic accurate depiction of Gomez, and I'm like, that's not Gomez.
Yeah. I get you. It's whatever
Raul Julia was just too iconic in that role. He was iconic in every role, though, right? Like, there's people that are like, Street Fighter, terrible movie, but Raul Julia, impeccable in that film.
I understand. Wasn't that his last ever role too? Was M. Bison in the Street Fighter?
I believe it was, and he did it specifically for his kids.
Yeah, isn't Carl Urban in the? No, he's in a new Mortal Kombat.
He's in a new Mortal. Should we watch that?
We should probably watch that.
I mean, how do we not watch Carl Urban in a Mortal Kombat film? How do we skip that?
How do we just stop at Carl Urban? Like I love Carl Urban in everything he's in. He's another one from Lord of the Rings. You would not recognize Carl Urban as the lead.
As what is it? Eomer? He's got the long blonde hair.
He's one of the riders of Rohan. He's like
the
gorgeous,
lead rider. He's
flowing
stunning.
hair. And you're like, wait a minute, I know who this guy is. I recognize him. It's Carl Urban.
Slightly bleached out locks. He looked stunning.
Also, we were talking about just recently about the gorgeous cast of the Star Trek reboot, which now I've learned it's called the Kelvin branch or something like that.
Oh, that timeline?
Yeah, they refer to that as the Kelvin series, and I don't actually know why that is.
Because they're all stone cold foxes.
I read the weirdest fact today, which put me back on my heels, Ashley. I didn't even know this was a thing. Apparently, you probably know this theme, even though you have never watched series. We were talking about the even-numbered versus odd-numbered. A lot of people weighed in on that in the comments of like good Star Trek movie. I shouldn't say good. Well-received Star Trek movies versus poorly received Star Trek movies, and how it flipped when they got to the Kelvin series, which is where I learned that name. I learned something else while doing some Star Trek research, was that
you nerd.
The classic theme for Star Trek, the original series, I don't know the name of the composer, but the creator, who's the creator of Star Trek? Do you know off the top of your head?
Absolutely not.
Gene Roddenberry. You probably heard the name
that
before.
name, yes. When you say the name, I go, yes, the creator of Star Trek.
This is like, it's weird how stuff comes together. Like I'm dealing, as you guys know, with a music clearance thing, and I've talked about how weird music clearances are. I'm just going to repeat this, and I'll do some fact checking, and I'll cut this in editing if it's not true. But apparently, the composer who made that classic Star Trek theme,
Alexander Courage.
There we go, and it's just da 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 da. Everybody knows the Star Trek theme, right?
Right.
Apparently, Gene Roddenberry wrote lyrics.
There's lyrics to it.
He wrote lyrics to the score so that he could get half the royalties. Because even if they
didn't use them,
even if the lyrics aren't used, if they're part of the composition, then you get half of it as like an author of the song. So apparently, after the composer turned it in, Gene Roddenberry added the lyrics to it.
And then took half the royalties.
And it was understandably how big that thing became and was used all over the place. And nobody knows the lyrics. And there's whole YouTube videos of people like getting the lyrics and singing them along to the song. And they're absolutely ridiculous. Maybe we'll play some of those on Monday's podcast.
We'll see if we can find that.
Yeah, we'll get the Gene Roddenberry estate some more money. Kind of I don't know. That seems really weird to me to do something like that.
It does, but also that sounds to me like someone who understood Hollywood math before Hollywood math understood Hollywood math.
So even every time it plays, even though you don't know what the lyrics are,
it technically has them.
It technically has them, and Gene Roddenberry and then his estate eventually gets that money because he gets credit for half of the song, essentially.
That's incredible.
And apparently this was a trend in mid-century television because the same thing happened, I guess, with I Love Lucy. That I Love Lucy, the theme song to that show, which I can't do off the top of my head, but I definitely know it, that also has lyrics that no one ever knows because they're never played, but then half the money goes to Desilu Productions because of that.
Does that mean that LG washing machines need to start paying Maude Garrett royalties?
Dude, Maud's she's got a claim there. She should go after them.
She should, because this, like, years and years ago, she posted a video with a song that she made up for the LG washing machine jingle. And it was like, ding dong, your clothes are clean because I am the washing machine. Something like that, right? And now every single time I hear that jingle, I think of Maude Garrett and I think of her lyrics.
I was thinking about her with that when we were talking about the Sabrina Carpenter sketch where they were doing the jingle. Yeah, same kind of thing. So yeah, she should stake a claim to that.
Well, while we're on the topic of iconic sci-fi TV shows, Bernie, I saw that Stargate is making a big comeback.
Cool.
They've just signed with, I think, Amazon to do a new Stargate a series for Amazon Prime, and I'm really excited for them. I'd never watched Stargate, but that's weird because it feels like a hole in my sci-fi education, and so I never followed it. But I'm excited that Stargate is getting another series because so many people love Stargate and they get more Stargate, and I'm excited for them. Like, I'm just excited because they're excited and they get something nice.
What's the most fringe sci-fi thing? I'm going to insult all of our UK neighbors now by saying this. Excluding Doctor Who, which for the US was fringe for a really long time, arguably still is very fringe in the US. What's the most fringe sci-fi thing that you've enjoyed?
Xena.
Oh, Xena, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Did you also watch Hercules?
Yeah, I did. No, on it.
Carl Urban should reboot that. That would be awesome.
You know he was in that series.
Get the fuck out of here. Which one, Xena or Hercules?
Both of them. I think he played I think a couple characters in that. I want to say, oh God, he played a god. And then he also played a human. He played a couple different characters in that. I'll look it up.
And then Gene Roddenberry showed up and made the lyrics for the theme song for Xena.
But no, I think here we go. Every role, there's an article on Screen Rant titled "Every Role Carl Urban Played in Xena and Hercules." So he played. Here we go. Cupid. He played Cupid.
Oh, he did. That's a great role for him.
Yeah, he did.
We got to get somebody to play these.
No, I think
reading the lyrics right now for the Star Trek theme songs. Roddenberry responded to it at one point. Said, apparently this is from lyricsondemand.com. So you take that for as much weight as you want to. But apparently Roddenberry was quoted as responding to it. Hey, I have to get some money somewhere. I'm sure not going to get it out of the profits of Star Trek.
Oh.
For a thing that turned into a gigantic series.
Yeah,
right?
but
and
like
movies and everything.
But that was one of those things that took time to build, right? You know the other role that Carl Urban played in Xena?
He played a zombie in Dawn of the Dead.
Julius Caesar, baby.
What is Xena about? Did they have Cupid and Julius Caesar?
Everything.
Really?
It's about everything. But I'd say, honestly, the most fringe stuff, sci-fi that I watch is probably like Eureka or like Warehouse 13.
Eureka's not bad.
Eureka's a fun show. It was really kooky. I'm not sure if it would like hold up, but I always loved watching it. I had the best time. And then Warehouse 13 was one of those kind of an episodic procedural where some artifact with supernatural powers has gotten out, and these two like secret agents, one of whom is like a believer and one of whom is a skeptic, have to go get the thing and then bring it back to be stored in this magical warehouse.
Yeah.
But they also coexist in the same universe as Eureka. There have been crossover episodes. Good times.
Mine would be movies. So it would either be stuff like Dark Star, early John Carpenter movie that is hugely influential over Red versus Blue, or something like Outland. Do you even know what Outland is?
No, we're not talking about Outlander. Right?
No, not talking about Outlander.
You're not the biggest Outlander super fan?
I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I know that guy just recently bought a distillery somewhere, and everyone has a buzz around here about that.
Time travel romance involving Scotland. You got
Enough
it.
Enough said. I'm there. Outland was like a Western in space, and it was in the late 70s. It was Sean Connery. Great. And also there was another one called, there was a lot of cool, like trippy sci-fi in the late 70s, early 80s. Saturn III is another one. And then I went back and looked at the cast of that. It's like Farrah Fawcett and an early Harvey Keitel before I ever knew who Harvey Keitel was. And it's just a really weird, creepy movie, man.
And that's the most niche stuff that you've seen?
I would say, yeah, probably some movies for me more than anything else, more than series. For most, like, fringe sci-fi series I ever watched would probably be something that was like
Fringe.
Like, no, it wasn't Fringe. I was thinking about that as I said it. Like Farscape for me, which we talked about before with like the dental worm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't like the Farscape. that was different. I always wanted to get into Babylon 5 for a really, really weird specific reason is they used a lot of Amiga graphics in Babylon 5. That's what they were known for. And I was starting, very early in production myself, and I had access to a Commodore Amiga, and it was like known as the incredible graphics computer. Or like you remember the Silicon graphics machines that everyone talked about? Yeah, and they were like $30,000.
Right, you would speak of them in like a hushed whisper.
Right, like nobody had their hands on a Silicon graphics machine. But Amiga was like something that was more consumer level. They just recently, by the way, have kicked up and restarted the Commodore brand. It's now in the hands of like some very high level enthusiasts, and I think some original people from the original Commodore era. Although those people would have to be really old by this point in time. But they're moving ahead. Like they have an Instagram account and everything. And they're
gonna let us have the unreleased 8 episodes.
I don't know who's looking for a Commodore in 2025, but there's guys my age, that were very young and growing up with Commodore computers. If your parents couldn't afford an Apple computer, you got a Commodore computer. Yeah,
we have Apple computer at home.
Or if you're really broke, the predecessor to the Nintendo Entertainment System. Was a really rare console called the ColecoVision.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
It was really weird. The ColecoVision had like a modular expansion slot, and one of the things you could buy. I don't think it had a speech unit. The Intellivision had a speech unit, but that one had where an expansion slot. Imagine this in today's market, where you could have your ColecoVision. And then you had this thing you could plug in, which was another module, which could then take Atari 2600 cartridges.
Oh, that's cool.
And made it compatible with Atari 2600. Yeah. And it's like today, can you imagine having like a thing you add on to your Xbox that lets you play PlayStation games?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, but there's no way they do it.
No, absolutely not.
But there were kids there was a really short run where ColecoVision then had also an Addams computer. Do you remember Addams computers at all?
Vaguely.
Yeah, they were very short-lived. But then the IBM PCs and the Apple computers destroyed everybody else, and Commodore and Addams never really took off. But they were bigger in Europe. Commodore was way bigger in Europe.
Well, you know who else is making a big comeback, Bernie?
Me?
Our sponsors, Chris Coe and Steve Markham. Thank you both so much for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere and roosterteeth.com.
I look forward to seeing you both in the episodes of Joey we'll be watching this weekend. The lost episodes. All right, Q&A is up. We're going to have a new thing, which I don't think we talked about yesterday. We're going to have, hopefully, a voicemail up. So if you want to leave a voicemail and leave your cue for the Q&A that way, sponsors, just check the Rooster Teeth site. We'll see if we can get that to work. If it disappears, it means we had a huge problem with it. We'll also have email if you want to send your questions that way. All right, well, that does it for us this week, ending November 21st, 2025. We'll be back on Monday to talk to you. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.